Welcome back to It Was Never a Face Cards. In today's Pokemon Market Update video, we have a wide variety of stuff to talk about. We're going to start off with some promos, then we're going to move into some PC ETBs that have been moving, and then we're going to talk about some sleeper stuff at the back half of the video. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because you won't want to miss any future videos as I do post every single day. And we're going to start off with Marnie's Morpeko. Now, this card has kind of surprised me with how quickly it's gone up. This has been absolutely insane. Check it out in the last 3 months. 257% gain. 3 months ago, this was a $13, $14 card, and we did see it shoot up, in late July, and it was around 25 bucks. But then since then, it's doubled in price, and this is now a $50 card. This was available in, I believe, the Marnie's Morpeko deck was around 15 bucks MSRP, give or take. I don't know, it might have been 20. Either way, it was very, not an expensive product. It might have been one of the last things sitting on your Target shelves. So just keep in mind, maybe if you bought this deck just to kind of as something to buy, that this card is now worth $50. So that's kind of wild. Let me know in the comments if you had this on your bingo card, Marnie's Morpeko being $50 this quickly. That's crazy. It is a nice looking card. I do see the appeal of the card, but just a surprise to see it at 50 this quickly. Definitely caught me off guard. On the PSA 10 side, we're seeing $300+ sales. The most recent ones have been $330, but before that, a $260, and then very consistent in the $300 range, $299, $300, $299, $299, $299. So PSA 10s, maybe if you have one, consider grading it. I would bet there are a ton of people sending these into PSA at the moment, so keep that in mind. Once people see a card like this shoot up, they go, oh, I bought some of those decks, and then they send the promo card in. So probably a lot at PSA or being sent to PSA at the moment for Marnie's Morpeko. So we'll keep you guys updated in the future on that card as it moves. And then we do have another little bit of an update on the Sleepy Eevee, the Prismatic ETB promo. The Pokemon Center promo itself is moving up pretty big. Check out this last month, 100% just in the past month alone, from $50 all obviously up to over 100, but this one's continuing to move. You can see the most recent sale, $125 and low supply, right? The supply is pretty low, 28 copies currently available on TCG Player, with the lowest listed right now being higher, 135 and up. So $135 card, probably going to break through 150 fairly soon too. You can see with only 28 listed, 194 have sold in the past month alone on TCG Player. So we're going to see this card move up in value probably pretty substantially. It's going to battle the Snorlax and the Charmander there for potentially the more expensive Pokemon Center promo. We'll see. Just something worth keeping an eye on. Just keep in mind too that the ETBs, Pokemon Center for Prismatic, are going up as well. We'll touch on that in a minute. But PSA 10s, they're still kind of consistently around 800. Last sold 790, 845, 720, 780, 750, 770, and 830 and 800 are the last sold. So I would say right around the $800 mark, they're holding pretty strong. It'll be interesting to see where this card can go in a PSA 10 as well. I remember when this card first came out, one of the first copies graded in a 10, I think, went for around 800. So now we're already back to that point. So that is interesting and something else to keep an eye on as things move forward. These stamped promos have just been insane. And if we're going to talk about the stamped promos, we have to talk about our boy Charmander with his forehead pressed up against here. So this is the Obsidian Flames promo where he just wants that Pidgey bad. 130% growth in the past 3 months. 3 months ago, this was a sub $100 card, and now we're seeing insane sales. Market's at $227. Most recent sale right here is at $290, if you can believe that. Lowest listeds though are actually below that most recent sale, $245 and up. But we're in a similar supply and demand issue here, right? 32 copies available on TCG Player, 41 sold in the past month. So I would expect that it looks like if we keep this pace up, I think this is definitely a realistic number for this card. And we see the Charmander hit $300 raw. These cards aren't slowing down. I think that's a pretty safe guess, maybe even on the very conservative side. So I don't know where the ceiling is in general for a lot of this stuff, but it's just something worth keeping an eye out, that I do think that these are going to continue to go up. And on the PSA 10 side for the Charmander, we know that this is an extremely low pop card, very difficult to grade. and the prices have been reflecting that. These are the last solds, and there's quite a bit of a swing here. We haven't had one sell on eBay in a little bit. September 1st was the last one, 3,300, but before that on the same day, we saw a $4,600 sale. I think this is a little bit more of the anomaly, because then back here you got a 3,500. So these were the last three solds. So I'd say closer to this $3,500 number is currently what you're expecting for a stamped Charmander in a PSA 10. That is a lot of money. So PSA 10's been absolutely going insane, wild to see. But that's just an update on the Charmander there. That's all we're going to touch on for the promos. Then let's talk about some PC ETBs that have been moving. Prismatic. We just got a surprise drop of Prismatic PC ETBs from the Pokemon Center. Wasn't that long ago that we got that. Like, what was that, a few days ago now? A surprise drop. But we've seen the PC ETBs continue to go up. They didn't drop off of that, so I don't think there was that many that really were being sold. I do know that it sold out fairly quick. I wasn't able to get any. By the time I got through the queue, they were gone. So 28% growth in the past 3 months. If you look at the past month, though, 34%. So this box is going, just in the past month, gone from 250 to 350 now, with the most recent sale at 375. And this box isn't slowing down. The listed median is $450. And let's see. Supply and demand going to continue to be an issue. There's just never enough supply to meet the demand, even on the secondary market, no matter where it is, right? 128 boxes are listed on TCG Player as of this recording, with 166 being sold in the past month. So this one's definitely going to continue to go up. Lowest listeds, there's just like, they're already higher, right? We're getting close to eclipsing that $400 mark. It's just a handful of sales more. And then it's, I don't know where the ceiling is once again. It's at least 450, probably definitely higher than that. So this is another one just that I will keep you guys updated on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications. If you're new, I do post every single day. So when we start to see big movement, you guys won't have to stay up to date with the market. I'll just update you guys, right? So anyways, that's what we're seeing from Prismatic. If we zoom out right here, let's just take a little zoom out. We saw insane. Do you remember at the beginning of the year, those insane pre-release prices? They were $400, and then release day came out and they dropped down to $260. So we're actually getting to the point where we're going to eclipse these insane numbers back here in December and January. So that's wild. But they dropped to $260. They went up to, they've been around $350 before, but remember we got a large restock of Prismatic PC ETBs, and that tanked the price back down to the lowest that we saw in a while, which was $220. So yeah, these are on the uptick big time. Just keep an eye out for them. And then real quickly, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is myself. If you guys want to support the channel, as I do this every single day, not only is there links in the description for your eBay, Amazon, TCG Player. If you plan on buying anything from them, just affiliate links. If you could click on my link, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, no worries. It doesn't cost you anything. And then if you want to enhance your collection and enhance your display, whether you have graded cards, raw cards, whatever it may be, I sell some 3D printed stuff, some stands, some slab bumpers, rotating LED display stand that you can see spinning behind me. So if you guys want to check it out and support the channel, there's also some merch if you guys want to check that out. itwasneveraPhasecards.com. Link will be in the description. And then let's just get straight back to the video. We don't need to waste time. Nobody wants to buy It Was Never a Phase stuff anyways. Surging Sparks, PC ETBs. These are trending up pretty big. It's kind of one of those things where it's most PC ETBs, honestly, and especially the good sets. But we're seeing this box near in on $300, if you can believe that, the Surging Sparks box. You can see back here 3 months, the 3-month low is around 170, and now we're seeing 260 market, most recent sale at 290. Different box, same story. Only 50 boxes currently listed on TCG Player, with 66 selling in the last month. So give it a little bit more time. These are going to be definitely hitting this listed median price of $350. Current lowest listeds right now are creeping up real close to that $300 mark. If you ignore this one with the tear in the plastic, we're already right there with shipping. We're at $294. So they're there already at that $300 mark. So Surging Sparks, looking real good. I do like the promo. You can't really see it right here. It's real small. I do like the Magneton promo a lot. That obviously all of those are going up, but Magneton, you know, Shinji Kanda, great artwork. I like that one a lot. So Surging Sparks on the way up. And then, you know, a more recent box that's actually seeing, not that this couldn't, you know, go up in value, you know, pretty big, pretty quick, but it just seems like for the most part we've seen it takes some time, right? It takes some time for people to open these and for them to sell, because there's usually a kind of a large supply that enters. Destined Rivals hasn't really been out for that long, but we are seeing some pretty massive gains on the PC ETB side. And these haven't eclipsed the booster boxes yet. Booster boxes, I believe, for Destined Rivals are around $350. So it'd be interesting to see if these can meet or eclipse the booster box price, which we've seen from other sets. We've seen that happening, right? So this could be another potential set where the PC ETB surpasses it. Nice looking ETB, although I do think that the regular ETB looks better because it has that carbon fiber like look to it. Either way, it's still a good looking ETB with Giovanni and Mewtwo in the R. So it's a great looking box. Promo Wobbuffet's pretty good as well. 60% in the past 3 months. This was sub 200 down here in the 180s 3 months ago. It did have a run up previously in August to 260, and then it kind of cooled off down to 240. And now we're seeing it at that $300 mark, 290s really, with the listed median price of 400, 200. Check out how many have sold in the past month. 207 in the past month with only 58 currently available. So this one will probably be a pretty quick mover, possibly going up to that $400 mark rather quickly. But we do have quite a few boxes listed in that $300 range. So we'll see how quickly this one moves as well. Once again, stay subscribed to the channel. I'll keep you guys updated on the PC ETB front. And then let's talk about some of these sleepers that have been moving from Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith is a super stacked set. It's super deep. It's absolutely a stunning set. But some of these cards that we're going to talk about right here, this card and then some of the Galarian Gallery cards have been potentially undervalued for a long time, and we're starting to see some big price movement. This is a really nice Pikachu card. I know that some people art-wise don't like all of the, like how busy some of these cards are when there's like tons of stuff going on in the background with all the Pokemon. I love these cards usually. There's that Mew V from Fusion Strike that we talked about recently. It kind of falls into the same category, but I like this card a lot. So Crown Zenith Pikachu, check this out, 221% in the past 3 months. This was a $12 card 3 months ago, and now we're seeing it push $40. So that's kind of wild to see. If we zoom out right here, obviously we're at you know, a 1 year high. I think this should be an all-time high for this card. $40, it's pretty expensive. A year ago, this was a $6-7 card. And it did have a previous run up to 21, and then it fell down slowly all the way down to around, looks like 12. Before its recent shoot up to around 40. So that's some pretty massive gains there. And that's right where we're at for the lowest listeds are all at 40. So we'll see if this card can continue to move up. A little different supply when it comes to the supply. There's definitely more available, 165. But if you look how many have sold in the past month, there's been a ton, 727 sold. And you can see there's been some days where there's as many as 100 sell. So August 17th, 104 sold. August 25th, 88 sold. And I could see why people were targeting this card as a potential uptick. Like I said, it's a nice looking card. It's Pikachu. It's popular. So yeah, number 160 from Crown Zenith at the $40 mark. And then we got to talk about another Pikachu from Crown Zenith. This is the Galarian Gallery number 30, where he's floating with the leaf. Super adorable. And we're seeing a big uptick on this card as well. 118%. 3 months ago, this was a $10 card. Now we're seeing it over 22. Now, this one's a little bit different. There's only 47 copies currently listed. And it's 95% gain in the past month. So a lot of this gain coming more recently. You can see a huge uptick in sales right here on September 4th. Likely same people who are probably targeting this card and buying this card back in August are, you know, buying this Pikachu card. So $22. And check out the lowest listeds right now, though. Lowest listeds are 30 and up, and we haven't had any sales in that $30 range as of this recording. But if this continues to go, this will be a $30 card, which will make this chart, once this updates, look even crazier. So we might touch on this card in the near future for an update as well, just to see if it's able to hold that. You zoom out right here, you want to see something wild too, considering this is potentially going to be a $30 card. $3-4 a year ago is kind of what you're looking at for this Pikachu card. Really nice there. The Sleepy Mew I think we've touched on this recently as well. Definitely one of, I was saying, and there's some videos, I don't know, we'd have to go back maybe a year. I know we touched on this multiple times on the channel. I think we touched on it when it was in the 20s as well. But I want to say, I know we definitely touched on it over a year ago as well. But this was a card that I've always liked. I've always been bullish on this card. But 148%. From 160 up to 40. This is over $40 card as well. So Crown Zenith doing crazy things. You zoom out right here. A year ago, this was a $5 card. This is when it had its previous run up. I know we touched on it. Actually, I want to say it was around here when it was around 18, 19. But anyways, it shot up as high as 25, came down as low as 15, 16, and now we're at $42 for the Sleepy Mew. Absolutely adorable card. I have this card in both English and Japanese in a 10. I prefer the Japanese because it doesn't have the yellow border. I think it just looks a little slicker, personally. But great looking card. Crazy to see this value because this card was so cheap for so long. So it's just kind of one of those price association things. But that I really just associated this as being like such a low dollar card. I gave a few copies of this card away to some friends, and now it's worth $40. But I gave it away back when it was worth like 5 or 6. So, anyways, that's what happens. Story of the game right there. But we're looking at, as far as supply, it's getting really low, 77 copies with 438 sold in the past month. So Mew, I don't know where the ceiling is on this card. I really don't. It's the market has become so volatile and moving so quickly that it's really hard to predict where these things can go. So, I don't know at this point, but what I do know is, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated. We're going to keep monitoring it because it is wild. So Sleepy Mew, Galarian Gallery number 10, and then one more from the Galarian Gallery. I think it's been a while since we've talked about this card, but this is another card that I do like. I like the V-Star and the V-Max of the Deoxys. I think they're nice looking cards. 37% gain in the past 3 months, going from a low of 28 up to around 40 currently. And the last solds, you do have one at 34, but before that in the 40s. We'll have to see what the lowest listeds are right now for an English copy. And we are not on near mint, so we need to make sure we are on near mint. That was almost a mistake. Looks like, yeah, you're right around 40. $40 currently lowest listed. So that's what we're looking at from the Deoxys VMAX, another card that's moving. This card previously has been as high as 44, 45. So it's got a little more to go to get back to this previous high. So something to keep an eye on. Before that, it was looks like a $14 card was the 1 year low. So definitely some decent movement on this card as well. There's a lot of other cards from the Galarian Gallery that I think potentially, real quick, we'll pull this up. I didn't originally have the idea to talk about this, but let's just do it real quick. So there's a few cards that when you start to think how crazy things are going, where cards that have more potential, and there's a few. So this is the Galarian Gallery. Obviously you got your Giratina and your Mewtwo, your big dollar cards right here, look both 170 plus. Then you got your other 3 golds, which are really nice looking golds, leading the way. Then this is where I see the most potential uptick value. Your Suicune, your Entei, and your Raikou. Suicune's already at 40. Entei and Raikou are really lagging behind. But these legendary dog cards are stunning, and I think that these definitely could be worth more. And you can see the listings are starting to get low. I remember at one point we were seeing over 200 listings for these cards. So supply is starting to get down, and we'll see maybe these ones will uptick. But, I could see these cards, these 3 specifically, having some big chance to go up. Like, I like this Deoxys VMAX, don't get me wrong, the one we just talked about, and the V-Star. But I think the Entei and the Raikou should be more expensive than this card personally, and the Suicune. So we'll have to see if that ends up coming to fruition or not. But those cards I could definitely see upticking big, as well as the 2 others are obviously the Leafeon and the Glaceon. They stand out to me. They're right, 46 for the Leafeon and $40 for the Glaceon. I could see those ones shooting up over time. They're really nice. Obviously evolutions, they're great looking cards. So I don't know if that, like I said, if that's necessarily going to happen. But when I start to look at the Galarian Gallery, those are the ones that stand out the most to me for bigger upside potential. But it's super deep. Like even down here, like I like this is the Zeraora. I love the Lapras. Page 2 has great cards as well. Like no matter where you go, I even like this regular Deoxys here. There's just really great cards all the way around. Turtwig, like anyways, we could go on forever. There's just some great illustrations in the Glaring Gallery. It's a deep set. But let's get to the last two cards that I wanted to mention. I saved them for the end of the video. Not everyone makes it to the end of the video, and that's okay. But because I just didn't want to get it too much. I wanted to not focus on so much expensive stuff. So I wanted to have some more affordable stuff kind of in the middle. So, but we do need to talk about what's happening with these cards from Evolving Skies. You get the Sleepy Dragonite, which right now, so this is what's interesting. Check out this market price is at 364 right here, but that is not what's been happening. Last solds have been 500, 550, and 550. So Dragonite right now, and look at the lowest listed. You got one at 480, and then you're up into potentially the $600 mark for Sleepy Dragonite. Sleepy Dragonite moving up to 600. So that's wild to think about. One of my biggest regrets was selling my Sleepy Dragonite. I really wish I sold it way too cheap, way too early. You know, everyone does it at one point or another, but $134 a year ago. It did peak at 260, came back down to 240, and now we're seeing potentially $600 raw from the Sleepy Dragonite. And then the Umbreon V, nice looking card as well. Another one of my big mistakes. I sold both of these cards like a dum-dum. But I really wish I would have had them back in my collection. But anyways, it's okay. 41% growth in the past 3 months, shooting up big to $350. Lowest listeds are actually under that. You got a few at 280 and 290. But then it's 350 and up. So some big growth once again on the Umbreon V. And if we zoom out right here, obviously we're at a 1 year high. The previous high was around 300, and then it slowly tapered down to 220. And now we're seeing it get back to that price. But a year ago, $140, $150 card there for the Umbreon V. So that's what you guys have for this market update. Hopefully you guys found it helpful, informative. And if you made it this far in the video, we're almost 22 minutes in. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button, because you obviously didn't hate it enough to switch off of the video. So make sure you subscribe with notifications on. I greatly appreciate it. We will be doing more giveaways in the future as we get closer. We'll see how things kind of pan out. Probably it'll be a 30K giveaway. I don't know how quickly that's going to happen. Sub numbers have been moving up quicker than what we've seen in the past, so that might be coming sooner rather than later. So something else to keep an eye out is we're trying to do subscriber giveaways whenever we can for milestones and stuff like that. So 30K probably would be the next one. So that would be, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Like I said, I don't know when we're going to announce that. We'll probably announce that closer to 30K this time, instead of like the 20K one took a little while to get to. So, but anyways, that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to quit rambling. I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.